I think it's very important to learn all the new technology as you are introducing me to Blue Jeans. So I used it before, but this is really fun. But I think with all these different channels, they're all so different, right? They're all a little bit different, like from Snapchat to Instagram to Facebook to Twitter. And yet it's important for us to learn how to use them. You don't necessarily need to make them like your baby like that. Like I will say right now for me, Twitter, I'm probably most comfortable with. But I also understand that it's important to have experience in the other platforms too, because as we know, MySpace used to be terrific. It no longer exists. Meerkat was amazing and it no longer exists. So we need to at least continue to be nimble because technology evolves, companies get bought out, companies stay or disappear. Um, so, like when I go to social media world, a good friend of mine says, "Well, you don't need to go to social media world because you already know everything social media." I said, "Hardly. I hardly know everything. I know a little bit about it, but I would love to learn more from experts who really, do social media each and every day." So that's why I go to this conference. This is my first time going. I'm pretty excited about going, only because I feel like the last year I've met a lot of people on social media, so now I actually get to meet them in person, which I'm super stoked about. Because I want to see what they look like and what they talk like and all that good stuff in person.
That's awesome. Now I gotta ask this question because you mentioned a bit about companies being bought up. So why do you think it's important for anyone, especially employees, to build their personal brand, using social media? If just if to prepare themselves for situations like if the companies get bought out or if they get laid off. What do you think is important for them?
Well, it's super important because first of all, it gives you job security, right? Like I'll give you an example. A good friend of mine, Wing Lam, is the CEO of Wahoo's Fish Tacos, which is a global brand, and he sells fish tacos. But Wing's done an incredible job branding the fish taco restaurant to him, right? And so many people. You can look at actors like The Rock, right? He's really made an effort to communicate with his public via social media. And this year, he was just what picked as the highest paid actor of the year, I believe. And I think you as a person, you can't just always be promoting other things. Like you can't just be promoting a company because businesses is done with a person. So people do business with people. So there's no reason why we can't let people in to get to know us a little bit because that is your future client, your future ambassador, somebody who can really help you pivot from where you are to where you like to be. And not only that is you give people access to you, and they that builds a tremendous amount of loyalty to your company, and it is a personal brand. And even if you're an employee at a company, a very large company, and you don't own your business, even more reason why you should build your personal brand, and even more why if you become more successful and people get to know you, you can help promote your business and offer support. So think of building your personal brand not as a selfish thing, but as a way to be able to share. I read something really recently that I just loved, and it says, you want to give from a position of being full, not empty. So you don't want to be in a situation where you're hungry and you have no money, and yet you just keep giving to the world. Well, and then you discount your services because you just want to give. But you're better off building a business that is highly sustainable and is highly profitable, and you give from a position of strength. So, like, for example, if your company is very successful and you have overflow of wealth, then you take some of that money and you give to less fortunate. You give more of your time to the less fortunate or those that are up and coming. That's a beautiful thing because people are winning because you're happy and you're a role model and you have something to give versus just giving from a place of empty. Um, I am a big believer in that. I think if all of us focused on self-sustaining for ourselves, our employees, our families, and then we gave to others as well, I think that the world would go around a little bit smoother than having people just There's a lot of people out there who you assume are doing very well because they seem to be giving a lot, but they're actually not doing that well. And that's not necessarily a good thing. I think honesty means that we give when we can and we pull back when we can't, and we focus on how to regenerate and re-earn and rebuild ourselves before we can go out and give too much to other people.